Hello and welcome to another day of Mark's Miniature Monday.
Another Monday.
Another Monday.
I'm a bit tired of it though, Mark, to be honest with you. Not of Mondays. I like Mondays.
I hate Mondays.
Really?
Yeah.
Right. They're your day. And that's what I'm sick of. Where's James's Miniature Monday?
I thought we should have a Joe's Miniature Monday.
I don't think that would be very entertaining at all.
No?
Just Joe's face there going like, I don't know what I'm doing. But this is my day. It's James's Miniature Monday.
Okay, welcome to James's Miniature Monday.
Yeah, and I haven't painted anything of note for a while, so I thought I'd bring in some old stuff. They've actually been sitting behind us in some of the videos.
They have done.
And it's these Funko Pops what I painted because, you know, paint it bigger, it's easier.
I also think they're particularly cool.
They're fun, yeah. So Games Workshop brought these out a while ago. Funko brought them out in association with Games Workshop, and I'm not the biggest fan of Pops overall, but everyone else seems to be. So I thought, well, I'll get them and I'll put my own spin on them. So I guess we'll show you them and just show a few of the little techniques that I did on these, which are bigger, and maybe you want to paint your own Pops.
The alternative, you can take some of these techniques and skills which James utilises in painting these larger miniatures, in painting your own larger ones. You don't have to restrict it just to the
That's
to
true.
These ones.
So first of all, let's do the Space Wolf, because he's a bit of an outlier, he's a bit of an odd man out.
He's also the best one, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Well, no, as a Dark Angels player, I'm going to say he's not, but we make sacrifices for our art.
Do we?
Okay, so with him, as with all the figures, started off by airbrushing things on.
Okay.
You can take Funko miniatures apart.
Oh, really?
It helps if you put them in boiling water first. It kind of breaks down the glue and then you can pop them apart. I actually didn't. I sprayed the armour with the airbrush first, then just masked it off with blue tack, and then I sprayed the skin.
Okay.
And that was really it with the airbrush. Everything else is done with brushwork.
So the hair,
that
beard.
was toned over what I'd originally done with the skin colours on the airbrush.
Oh, okay. You can kind of see it here on these bottom parts here, can't you? Okay.
So yeah, just a really simple Zenith thought. We talk about that every
video.
And the main thing to say of interest is that a lot of the detail work is done with contrast paints. Now people might be like, oh, they're a bit thin or whatever, but even for lining, the only thing that's not done really with contrast is the black lines. And that's done with
and these whites, I assume, as well.
Those as well. But they're done with thinned standard paint. But yeah, the contrast paints are really good. You can work in these details, and I've gone for a very graphic novel kind of look for these. I've black lined around the edges, and it's a lot of fun when you're working on a big surface like this. You can start to add details. You can see I've done a bit of stuff around the scalp, just these little dots. I've worked in all these browner and beiger lines are all done with contrast paints and then refined with the black. The weapons were a lot of fun.
Okay, are they metallic colours mixed with contrast?
So they're a gunmetal blue, which is a Vallejo paint that I really love, and that's the base for that. And then it's just working over with other metallics. And then I've actually brought in
some blood effect.
Some Tamiya clear red to put some blood onto that axe there as well, which...
James gets excited every time I say I'm going to do blood effects, because he's like, are you going to get the Tamiya out? And
it's a phenomenal paint. It's mostly for like clear coating things, like if you're doing radio controlled cars and stuff like that, or you can put it over metallics to make them kind of candied. If you leave it open for a little bit, it starts to set, and then you can almost coagulate it and pull it over. And that's really good for blades. We'll do a video about it in the future.
I really hope that one day we do just a blood effects video tutorial. We'll make all different types, blood splatters, blood.
We'll go back to Games Workshop and do some corn-related blood for the blood gods.
Let's do
this.
Yeah.
Okay. That's about it for that guy. I think Primaris Intercessor.
See, I didn't even know what this new fangled Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine was called.
Really?
It's just a Bolter boy in my mind.
You painted one yourself.
One.
So this is the Dark Angel. You can see here the airbrushing techniques with these pops of colour. But they've actually been nuanced with a sponge. So I've then gone back in with the different ranges of colours.
Oh, you can see the texture.
Just textured it in. I think that's important for something bigger if you want to get that battle-worn effect, to give it the texture. I've focused the detail on the higher areas. The lower levels get a bit simpler. But again, it's just drawing in that detail and having fun. The airbrush work kind of does the initial. And then you just bring the detail in. These little chips are just painted in, and then I've just white-lined around areas of them to make them pop. The bolter, you can see I've done some almost cross-hatching on this, which is quite an expressive way to do it. wouldn't work so well on a tiny figure and would be a nightmare.
But also the style, like you said before, the comic kind of styling, it works really well on.
Yeah. And it works well. And even with the eye lenses, you can see I've not blended them. I've intentionally kind of cell shaded them. And these were painted really quick.
Yeah.
Like, I've not been precious about this. Mark's probably horrified at the lack of saturation on the yellow one there, because there's a bit of a black showing through.
The one thing which I would possibly state, if you ever wanted to do kind of bottle damage yourself, is typically speaking, you've done it on a few of them, make the lighter ones slightly longer than the darker one. It just emphasises scratching and the nature of kind of damage a bit more effectively. So, I hope you don't mind.
No, not at all. I mean, the highlights are in the wrong place on some of the scratches. They're above when they should be underneath and stuff. And it's just because I was just having fun.
Just going for it.
Yeah, I was just getting it done.
That's how miniature painting should be sometimes. It's not always about doing it for the competition painting or
not at all.
Just have fun.
Yeah, these were not going to win any competitions, but they were some of the figures that I painted that have got the best response.
I love them. Personally, I think they're great. They're great fun.
So we're on to one of the assault troops with a jetpack now. Really similar effects, but I've actually gone completely over the top. I've even kind of applied cracking to the armor there, so it looks like
I don't want to know what's happened.
It's headbutted by an orc or something.
Or he headbutted an orc.
Probably the orc doing the headbutting. This one's slightly different with the weapons. They've got the red weapons of the assault troopers, and you can see the Tamir blood again.
Is this an Inferno pistol?
Probably, yeah. I believe it is, actually. I didn't really pay much attention to the armament.
That's a pretty cool weapon to have for an assault marine.
But yeah, the blood looks really good. You can see one of the good things that I love about clear red is even over red,
it stands out.
It looks good and grimy. The metals on this one, you can see the contrast paint that I've used here. It's just some brown paint, and it's just being applied. Very stark and not blended or anything, but even on a big figure, looks effective. You can see a lot of sponge texturing on this one.
Yeah, it's quite a bit around here. You can see the sponge in the darker.
Stronger highlights just to make that curved armour pop.
And then should we look at the reverse on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's do it.
Oh wow, the back's barely been painted. Well, that's because you sit them on a shelf and they're not going to be on the table.
No one sees the back, and let's be honest about it. Do you know, I'm guilty of this myself. You spend 90% of your time focusing on the front where people see, and then the back, as long as there's colour on there.
You might. I tend to paint the cloak on the back as the best looking thing on the miniature, and then the rest of it is disappointing, and no one ever sees
the back. Yeah.
But so there you go.
So finally, we have a veteran.
We have Stewie Griffin.
Yeah.
Which was purely by chance. Everyone seems to think it looks like Stewie Griffin, and I can see why.
It actually is, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about like Dark Angel sergeants and stuff, but I think they always need to look like they're the most weathered, broken down, depressed guys on the planet.
I think it fits. If you were a Dark Angel, you'd be pretty miserable.
Oh,
so
for sure.
If you're a veteran, you've been around for a while.
Yeah, if he's been stuck in the bowels of the rock, like, what's going on? So I've worked...
I'm not quite sure what's going off around here. It looks like he's had one hell of a beating.
Yeah, well, it's his bionic. He's got all that scarification. So that's all painted in, because originally this is a very flat figure. Same with all the details under the eyes, the bags under the eyes, the lid that I put on.
I'm loving the kind of the lid on
the
eye there. He looks...
It just really changes the feel of the figure and actually makes it quite expressive, because pops are usually quite starey, straight ahead kind of things. So this was all brushwork. Again, you can see the veins.
Yeah,
it's contrast paints on
the sword. I love the sword. You've gone for the cliche power sword, glow effect, but it's really
why
effective.
Not? It's that easy to do. You just airbrush it on, and then you put these edge highlights of white to pop it.
Yep.
I've used a few other things here, like.
Oh, okay. So looking at the top.
If you look at the top, you can see there's some texture. Just hints of it.
Yep.
That's actually using tulle mesh, which is the stuff you use on wedding veils.
Okay.
And I've just laid it across and airbrushed the white through it, and it's just applied that texture, and then...
So you had a darker background.
Yes. Yep. And it shows that through, and then just a few splashes of muck.
Yep.
If you look on
bit of muck on there.
If you look on the side, I've then added a little bit of cross-hatching over the top of it. And it's just about giving those players a texture. I didn't paint the back much on any of these, but this one, I've grubbied up the base of his robe.
He needs to be grubby, doesn't he? Yeah. He's a veteran. Veterans don't wash.
And that's kind of it.
Yeah.
It's fun to do. It's a great way to get a bit more expressive in your paint work, bring a bit more creativity onto some of these surfaces. Yeah. And these are not the only pops out there that have been repainted. There's some amazing work done by other people, conversions as well. So yeah, that's well worth checking out. And
I would like to say, I think, like James has said, it's all about just being creative and expressing yourself, not feeling too tied down by what you've seen Games Workshop produce.
Yeah, for sure.
And their miniatures. just go for it if you're going to do anything like this. And yeah, I think you've done a really good job with these.
Well, thank you.
They're good fun.
I have the approval of our professional in-house painter.
Do you have the approval of the videographer as well? He gave a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
A thumbs up. That is impressive.
This has been the best Monday. It's the best Monday ever,
there
everyone.
You go. Excellent.
There you go. Something a bit different. And we'll be back next time with more of Mark and his projects, I suspect.
I've got plenty ongoing, so hopefully something will arise, yeah.
So if you want to see more of that, click that subscribe button. I'm talking to you, Derek. I know you watch every week and you don't subscribe, and I'm mad. Are you mad?
Bit disappointed.
Disappointed is worse. Subscribe, click the alert button. We'll see you next time.
This video has been brought to you by WI Prime, Wargames Illustrated magazine's online members club. View more videos or find out more about WI Prime by following these links.